Hello, and welcome to season 4 of Super Prose Bros. I'm player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is.
Player 1 Ike and
Uh,
Angelina Broly. Did you know that this podcast is on YouTube?
Power through, man.
I didn't make it myself. SoundCloud and Spoofy.
I did not rotate chip. It was the same place as people could.
Like,
Comment
share.
and subscribe.
You know it, boyfriend.
I pray this does not continue the whole episode.
I'm drinking tea.
And that transformed you into the hag of the swamps? What?
Whoa. Egg of the swamps. I'll let you know, young man, I own my own property. Something your bitch ass can claim for at least 100 years.
Way to call me out like that, hag.
This might have to be a recurring character.
Fucking hag of the swamp.
What does Hag of the Swamp have to say about this? Later,
sucks.
bitches! That show rocks my crumpet.
I'm just gonna move on. We're gonna be stuck with the hag of the swamp for like an hour.
So the reason I am Hag of the Swamp today is I am a little under the weather's not. Yeah, I guess so. I am very congested, so I'm drinking just copious amounts of tea, and well, it's having an effect on me. So I do apologize to my editor Richard Ashford, my co-pilot Eli Sears, and you, the viewer, if I ever have to huck Tua during this recording. If you know, you know. So, grandson, what's been going on in your neck of the woods?
Sweet Jesus. Oy vey. But so has it been 2 weeks since we recorded? Just one.
I want to say no. It's just been one. We recorded last week.
Okay.
We had that malfunction where we waited an hour to make sure it worked.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. So since then, my week was fucking cattywampus. So Monday I got to do the delightful thing of heading down to the courthouse to hang out because I haven't actually finalized my divorce. So much fun. So I ended up just hanging out in front of a fucking like judge's chambers for like 2 hours because I couldn't get like hold of any kind of schedule for her docket or anything because
balls.
municipal court systems suck ass.
Yeah.
They're very litigious. It's very frustrating. Anyways, while I was sitting there just reading, I got to watch people bring out a woman in handcuffs. I was like, oh right, I'm in a courthouse. And the judge came out and just talked to me for a second about the book I was reading. It's like, all right, this is fucking weird. Nice old dude, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, the bailiff for the court or the judge I was supposed to see was like, "Who are you?" I was like, said who I am. She was like, "Let's get this sorted out really quick because you don't need to be in front of the judge." I was like,
nice.
Cool. So she's like, "Here's what you're gonna do. Do this. Fill these out. Email them to me. We get this deal." So I don't have to go in front of a judge. I just need to get forms filled out, and she recommends I get it checked over by people to make sure it doesn't get like rejected, and I don't have to resubmit it.
Hell yeah.
So cool. Nice to have answers. It just meant my Monday morning was kind of fucking bizarre.
Yep.
All right, whatever. Go to work. Tuesday, normal. As there's supposed to be this, quote, bomb cyclone, which just sounds like a really cool cyclone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that something to be terrified of or to dress appropriately for?
I don't know. But it meant Wednesday I woke up in the fucking dark. So I'm like, and I woke up and I'm like, fuck, all right, gotta get up. Pull like the cord on my lamp. I'm like, fucking light bulb's out. That's annoying. Okay.
To no avail.
Get up, turn my lamp, turn my other light on. It doesn't turn on. I'm like,
How unlucky am I?
I was like, power's out.
I'm
Okay.
seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. So go to, half of Seattle had no power. Like
And the
if you
other half weren't happy about the power they had.
yeah, so the eastern half of Seattle just if you looked like a power outage map, it was just fucking red. Um,
Sheesh.
it was there was I think at one point there was like 650,000 people without power.
Damn.
So there's a lot of people without
It's
power.
a lot of persons.
Yeah. So I went to the office because like they have a generator. Cool, we
Mhm.
can work there. So I get there and it's fucking arduous to get there. Morning one
Mhm.
because like the route I take is it's a pretty straight shot, but there's no real turnoffs to it. It's a fairly isolated road. So
Okay.
when there's a tree in the middle of it, I have to turn all the fucking way around. And I tried to like cut around it in some like fucking ritzy neighborhood in Kirkland. No, it turns out it was this really long winded dead end that had not one but two gated communities in it and no outlet. And I'm like, fuck you, you rich cunts. Um, fuck you and your nice houses. Okay, finally get to work. It's like 8:20 and I left at 7. My commute in the morning is normally half an hour. Ugh. Okay, cuz all the lights are out. Like stoplights are out.
Yeah.
So when you get to a 4-lane intersection, it becomes the most awkward game of chicken ever. And it's awful. Anyways, get to work. Get in the office. Get told, "Hey, we're running out of power at fucking 9:30 because they didn't have fuel for the generator." God damn it. Text Eli. I'm like, can I just hang out with you for a while? He's like, sure. It's like, okay. So I just go to Eli's apartment and just fucking read. Just sit around and read and hang out. That was my afternoon. I go home. I spend the night in the dark. Um,
Molded by it.
it was so weird. It's so weird living without like just complete dark. Just like, hmm. I was reading by fucking phone light for a while. Then I'm like, I guess I go to bed at like 9. Fuck it. What else am I doing?
Is this what it's like in the olden times? You just get bored, so you go to bed because fucking nothing else to do?
I guess. So I get up Thursday. There's still no power. Like, okay. So I fucking shower by phone light. Awful. Go to
As
work.
one does.
Yeah, go to work. There are just like more street lights on now, fortunately. So I'm like, okay. Um, get to work at fucking 9. Our power goes out. So I'm like, are you fucking serious? So my group ends up spending like we're just sitting there for like an hour and we're playing the game The Mind.
Oh,
You ever-
nice.
Yeah.
It's literally right next to me.
Oh, dope. Yeah. So we're just playing that in a fucking conference room for an hour. Um, and so because what the fuck we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So and like we're just watching people leave. Um, and so eventually HR puts out the official statement because our boss asks us to stay
Mhm.
because he's fairly by the book. It's like okay, fine, fine, fine. We're just gonna fucking stay and play a card game. He like came in and sat down with us and shot the shit. Like he didn't care, but still. So there's finally the official thing. It's like the generator is expected to come back at 10:30. But if you can go somewhere else and work, go for it. I'm like, I don't trust you fucking idiots. You're over 2. I'm like, hey Eli, go over, work the afternoon from his place. Um, go home. And so as I'm fucking languishing on the 5, because fuck me, um, I called dad. I'm just talking to dad to go just pass time in traffic. And as I started to get closer to my apartment, I'm like, maybe there'll be lights on because I heard about some people getting power back. I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe I'll have power when I get home because it was projected to be the 23rd. I'm like, I hope it's not. I
Yeah.
really hope it's not. So I'm talking to dad, and I get off the road, there's power where there wasn't like yesterday. I'm like, oh, okay. Go past Lake Forest Park, which is between where I get off the 5 to my apartment, and it's dark. And I'm like, no, no, no. Go past another bit that's like not a lot in between, and there's like a strip mall that has
Mhm.
lights, and I'm like, yes, yes. And so Dad is just listening to me, and this like excitement building as I'm getting closer. I'm like, I've never been so happy to see Jack in the Box with lights. Yes. It's I get like ecstatic when I see Safeway has lights. I'm like, yes. And from the intersection, I can't quite see my apartment complex, but I'm like,
Mhm.
I can see stuff by it, and I'm like, that has power. Good. Turn the corner, and I see lights on the sides of like the buildings in my apartment. I'm like, those were off this morning. Like, so yeah, so that and then Friday was a nice return to normalcy. Uh, and yeah, Saturday I sat around and played League, enjoying having internet again because thank God utilities work. So yeah, that's that's been my weird fucking week.
That's wild.
Yeah, the front half of this week was a bit of a dumb shit show. What about you?
So this week have had more run-ins with silly children using AI on projects.
Oh boy,
Did I tell you about the awesome ancient history one?
no,
So this question is from like, BC, like back in the day. And it's like, why did people live in settlements and blah blah blah. So this guy chat GPTs it and it comes back with an answer because chat GPT doesn't understand the context because kid
sure.
didn't input it. And so he has this run on answer with way too many big words for a 10th grader about Gaza. And
What?
because talking about why are people living in settlements. And so it was like, I know, topical events. And so he has this like the simple answer was it was better to live with people than not because big scary monsters basically.
Sure.
But this kid goes on and on
It's
about
political
Zionist
diatribe.
fucking yeah. It's like a
Jeez.
big paragraph that the font is different than where he like wrote the question. Like he wrote the question, then wrote the answer, and the font's like wildly different, and the answer is long and like written by a journalist, so it has like words that he couldn't pronounce. I'm like, bruh, this is awesome. Also, no, like you're getting that dinged, but also that's hilarious.
Oi, oi, oi.
Uh, Later in the week, I was driving home, or I was driving to go on this date, and I'm at a light, and the other lane is empty, and I
Sure.
hear from a block away. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I look back and okay, you've seen those trucks that people use that like often it's kind of like an old Ford or like an old Chevy has like a long bed, and often you will see them with like a shit ton of like what most frequently I see them anyway in LA, full of yard working like lawnmowers, leaf
Sure.
blowers, stuff like
Sure.
that. So somebody had one of those and had tricked it the fuck out. It was now a lowrider with wheels that were pushing out of the wheel well with like
Oi.
chrome on them. It's still like a working truck that's been gussied up a little bit, which is just like it's like seeing bedazzled $10 shorts from Amazon. It's the most perplexing thing. And out of it with clearly a fucking nuclear bomb size subwoofer is just blasting mariachi music. But so for the normal part, it's but anytime it gets to the oompa from like the accordion or like the kind of bassier instruments, because It's just the subwoofer is just accentuating the
Just
bass, but it's
overpowering
causing
everything.
my retinas to rattle. It's just so much. But it's the funniest thing coming from somebody that 1,000% you do not want to fuck with. This is like this is that movie moment where clearly it looks like some like handyman found a parcel with $10 million and just gussied up what he had and would be found out by the cops for like appropriating like funds stolen from a bank or something. It was just so comical in all the directions. And just he gets a block away from me and I can still feel my windows rattling. It's just a
Jesus.
public noise disturbance on wheels is amazing. Got to my date, had a nice date, did datey things, and then it wasn't until like later on in the date, I'd always felt like something was like something's a little funny here, but I like this person, they're cool. And it was they said something and it connected. It finally connected. And no shade to either party, but it is a deal breaker. They reminded me of my aunt. There's
Hmm.
no coming back from that.
Yep.
Looking at somebody, kissing them, and having them say something that just turns you into like a family meeting is like, ah,
Well, this vibe is dead.
we're done here. Yeah, it's just like, and it's gone. Any amount of any amount of romantic interest in this person has ceased to be. And then the night after, to kind of get over that, went out with some homies. We went to this restaurant. So we played Magic, and then we went to this restaurant. This is the weirdest experience, and it's not bad. It's just wildly peculiar.
Hmm.
It was it wasn't Greek, but it had like doner and like kebabs and stuff like
Like
that. So like,
Mediterranean.
yeah, but yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyway, uh, like
Also, donair.
okay, doner. Okay, thank you. So we go there, and the food is nice, and I kind of like it, and have talked to people from different ethnic persuasions,
Sure.
whether it's Asian, whether it's Greek, whether it's like African. The
Hmm.
sign of a good restaurant is that it has medium stars and all the complaints are about service. That's how you know the food's fucking dope.
Mm.
It's like when talking to friends of mine who are like Greek or Asian, they're like, yeah. I was like, ooh, this place looks good, 4.5 stars. They're like, nah, that's not the good shit. They're like, we want like a 3.7, 3.8. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, and then and then filter through those and make sure they're all the complaints are about service. That shit's correct. That's a hidden 5 and will be empty. And you'll get the best food and the most hilariously fucked service. And they were not wrong. We walked in there and the guy is standing there is a podium for the kind of
Sure. Hosting.
the host stand. Nobody at it. The only guy working is across the room having a chat with somebody. We walk in, he looks over at us, like raises his hand, and then like kind of waves his hand around the room like pick a fucking table, but doesn't say shit other than that, and then goes back to his conversation. I'm like, awesome, this is gonna be great. I don't care what happens next. So we find a table, we wait 15 minutes, and then he comes over, doesn't apologize, just hands through menus and goes drinks, and I it goes like, oh yeah, we'll have a round of waters, and I turn to the back of the page and I go, and I look up and he's just gone. He's just like heard water. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. That's good enough. You ain't getting two, asshole. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be fucking fire. We order our food. I managed to squeeze in a drink order as well. He leaves. We each take turns, not like intentionally, but first my friend goes to the bathroom and comes back with this weird smile on his face. I'm like, what's up? He goes, dude, you got to use the bathroom. I was like, okay. And my friend's like, me first. And he goes over and he comes back giggling. He goes, I'm not going to say anything. Just go use the bathroom. I was like, all right, this is weird. I go in there, the bathroom, and I am not kidding. It was like walking into a different dimension where the bathroom was set in the summer at a fucking baseball field. It was 15 degrees hotter than the eating area. Nothing
Jesus.
else wrong about it. The temperature was just wildly hot. Not like, wow, this is warm and comfortable. It was hot. It was like 80 something. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is the exhaust from the oven being funneled into the bathroom? But we didn't, because of the service, we didn't have the heart to ask him. So we just like ate, laughed about it, and then left. It's just like, I've never been to a bathroom. I've never been to a bathroom I think it was warmer unless like the other place like, had a window broken or something.
Yeah.
But to be that much hotter, and the room was like, the room was like a nice 70 something, but this place is like 80 or whatever. Like,
Jesus.
what the fuck? It was unbelievable. Some other things that are unbelievable is great shows being cut short in their prime.
Amen.
So today we're going to be talking about shows that we wish got given a second chance or at least one more season. Some for differing reasons, but either way, take it away, my Broskinkowski. What we got first?
First off is a recent fucking gem, Chaos. I, it was an absolutely irreverent and wild kind of modernization of Greek mythology, and it's awesome. And it got canceled.
Meow.
Like, had great critical reception. I think it had fairly decent viewership. Like, but just
It's really hard to tell with like
yeah,
Netflix shows because they like that information is, I don't know if it's hidden or a little bit more obscure or harder
yeah.
to
But I
calculate,
mean,
but
either which way, nope. So I I think that's I think that is a tragedy. I would have loved to see where they took it. I loved the casting in the show. It was just fucking great. Like the casting and writing for the show was so good. So I'm very sad that they just cut it short and there isn't more. Sage.
indeed.
Yeah, because it was not resolved.
Yeah. It seemed like one of those that it was like kind of building.
Yeah, like it ends on a very interesting paradigm shift that they've been building towards, and you finally get to actualize it, but then it just leaves a bunch of threads kind of unpulled and unanswered. Just like I want closure. I won't get it. Say it.
Yeah. Well, sadly, I got closure with season 3 of Ted Lasso, but it felt rushed. And so this is somewhat similar and somewhat not. I want I want to go back in time, have there be a fourth season confirmed, and have them rewrite season 3.
Hmm.
So I really feel like they rushed and did some shit that needed more time and never got it, but the writers were like, "This is my thing that needs to be in the show." So they put it in there and it just didn't make that
Hmm.
much sense. There's this rushed random love triangle that transpires over 2 to 3 episodes between Keeley, Jamie, and uh, Roy Kent
Mm-hmm.
in like the last season, and it comes out of nowhere, and the characters act weird, and it's just like
Hmm.
it's so bizarre. It Lots of little things like that where it's like it's not bad, it just need more time to breathe, and they've been really good about that.
Hmm.
And it's just like, guys, come on, we can do better. What the fuck? So
Yeah.
I really wish there was one more season where a couple of things could have like had a little bit more time to breathe, a little bit more time to kind of be flushed out. But next,
And this one hurts me.
this
I'm
one
so
stings.
pissed that Scavenger's Reign doesn't get a season two. I'm I'm very angry that Scavenger's Reign didn't get a fucking season two. I think it's one of the best. Like,
Especially considering they got a fucking trailer for a season
yeah, they
two.
even get a trailer, and it's a lot more of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, God, it ended with such interesting. Again, same kind of fucking shit with Chaos, where it ends at a very interesting paradigm shift. It ends with like kind of more doors, like just nudged open a little bit, you
Hmm.
know, to fucking tease you. And there's like clearly plot to be resolved, and just it. And and I'm fucking angry again because it got really rave critical reception. Like, and they bothered to fucking pick it up. Ah! It was so good. It is one of the best sci-fi fucking shows I've seen in a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Fucking bitches. Um,
Yeah, and like it's the weirdest part to me is still like, and we made them make a trailer because that trailer was not cheap and they paid for it.
yeah.
Like, why would you? What? Who didn't talk to who that got greenlit and then you canceled it?
We just shelled out like $50,000 to make a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, yeah. It's another one of those like it had such good potential. I mean, we talked about it. It was great. Like,
Yeah, we loved it.
I'm also just very sad because like that's one of the things Eli and I did together is we watched Scavenger's Reign. Like, so I'm just like, I have emotional investment in this one too, you fuckers. Also, I wanted to.
Eh.
I also wanted to see fucking hoping Cayman could die. Fuck Cayman.
It is as you say. Fuck Cayman.
Fuck Cayman.
So one of the ones for me, and again, it kind of goes with Ted Lasso. So this is like you can call this a cop out, but I really do wish there was more Fleabag. I understand why the creator stopped at two, and I have mad respect
Hmm.
because they felt like they had, they had told the story they wanted to tell, and they turned down a lot of money, and I respect that. But also, one more Fleabag. Show rocks. Season two is by far the best season, and I say that as someone who loved season one, but season two was fucking cracked. Had a
Mm.
great kind of love interest and like momentum and great storytelling. But yeah, it was probably the last we'll ever see that show, even though I love it so much. But understand and respect.
Yeah. Damn the integrity.
Yeah, it's commendable, but also,
But also, fuck you, give me my toy.
yeah, basically.
um, honestly, the one on my list that fits in that same boat is Venture Brothers. I I want more. It got put in fucking that show like got put in some dumb development hell, and I think it was originally slated to have a season 8, and then COVID happened and fucked production. So they ended up kind of scrapping season 8 and getting and doing the movie instead. And the movie was like it was an okay end to the show, but I don't know. I wanted more. Like I wanted a little more time to just kind of resolve some things between them. Like
True.
I also just want more Venture Brothers. That show is awesome. Like kind of same thing. Like fuck you, I want my toy. It's shiny. Um, like it felt a little weird that like one of the big things season 7 ends on is like Dean sleeping with Hank's girlfriend, and like the girlfriend never comes back. Like
Weird.
yeah, she basically talked about an abstract in the movie, but she never is there. Like there's nothing with Wide Whale or anything. There's kind of some stuff with the guild that ultimately ends up feeling very unimportant. It's like the movie just felt a bit cobbled together in some ways.
Hmm.
Like it didn't have enough space to wrap up like the 6 different big plots or like big investment points. I
Hmm.
guess is a better way to say it.
Yeah.
So just like I wanted another season or 5. I don't know.
So while the oh, you jumped one.
I did go a little out of order.
Okay. Uh, so while the creator of this show sucks big monster dicks and is like a nepotism baby, granted, was very
Who's the
good.
creator?
Uh, his name now. I really like a lot of his products. Is the thing that sucks. Um, so the creator was Max Landis, who has since been canceled for, I believe, sexual impropriety and shit like that. He's the son of John Landis, who's a famous director. Yeah, he's had a lot of misogyny and sexual assault allegations. Not awesome. I believe has effectively stopped making work for the most part.
Hmm.
Which sucks because he did two of my favorite short films on YouTube: The Death and Return of Superman and Wrestling Isn't
Oh,
Wrestling.
that's right. He did. He wrote Chronicle too.
I wrote Chronicle and did American Ultra, did Bright, and um, yeah, and then made Dirk Gently, which I fucking loved. It was a great version of. Is that your chinchillas?
That was a chinchilla.
That was adorable. Also, pipe down. So Dirk Gently's amazing, very whimsical. It does a great job at blending the inoffensive with the truly grotesque. It's really, really fucking fascinating and one of a kind. And the first two seasons are magnificent, in my opinion. And then
They refused to pipe down.
there's, yeah, so here.
They're very offended by Max
Maybe if I
Landis.
use a more motherly tone. Quiet! See, it works. Um, so I understand why there's not more of it. However, I'm sad because the product was really good and all the actors involved were fucking awesome and did their part amazingly. I think it's also one of the first few times I've seen where they truly, truly ugged up a beautiful woman, which I really respect. It
They
sounds really stupid and trite, but the amount of times where they're like, "Oh, we made him ugly," like Brienne of Tarth in the books for Game of Thrones is supposed to be hideous, and she is like an LA 7.5. It's like, good job, you found somebody who wasn't
It's like
like,
she's maybe a bit mannish.
yeah, she's tall and has a jawline. That fucking troll. Like it's not like they don't Hollywood cannot get through their head what like ugly or like conventionally unattractive people don't look or like look like. It's baffling and kind of annoying and a little,
Yeah,
kind of high tower looking down snobbery,
yeah.
if not intentional or unintentional. But like Dirk Gently, I love her to death. But hold on, I need to see this.
Bart is
Fiona
hideous.
Dourif is gorgeous, and in the show, she is hard to look at.
Yeah, Bart is hideous.
Bart is rough, and I
Bart,
love her to
Bart
death.
looks
She's
like he pulled her out of a fucking ditch after a hurricane.
yeah, she like hair matted. The look on her face constantly is really unsettling. Just fan fucking tastic.
Yeah, it's
And it's like
incredible.
lovely to see like a directing choice of like, yeah, no, we're gonna go for this. It's like, hell yeah.
They
And is
they
also an awesome three-dimensional character that is in no way sexualized. All the like so much of the show is tremendous.
Bart, she is unapproachable for several reasons.
Yeah. Part of that is the machete she's wielding.
I was to say part of it is that she just stabs most people who get too close.
Yeah. Because
Um,
the universe told her to do so.
yeah, sure. Um, so my next thing, there's a couple for me that I am sad they stopped getting an anime adaptation because there is more source material.
Okay.
And one of them for me is 86. I fucking loved this show. And it's fucking dark. Um, like, and it again, it apparently there is more light novel to it. There is more that could be adapted, and it just I think the studio doing it, um, either lost funding or there were production issues, and it just hasn't gotten a season two or three. I don't know if it's regarded like set as one season with like two parts or two seasons. Anyways, it has
Mhm.
not gotten a continuation. Which I am annoyed because I'm one of the people who like if depending how I start looking at something, like if I start reading it, I'm not going to watch the show. If I watch the show, I'm not likely to start reading it. which that's a
Mhm.
me problem. I get, but I'm also just sad to not see it like continued being adapted. But yeah, it ends on ends on like a very much a half measure. Like the main problem is still exists. Like it gives you a nice little feel good reunion at the end,
Mhm.
but it's like, right, remember crazy sentient AI army still out there, still exists. It's still there.
Still doing its thing.
Yeah, turns out big metal problem.
So, my next one is talking about quaint and adorable while being somewhat unsettling is Pushing Daisies. This show more quaint and sweet than unsettling, but it does do with death. It goes
Hmm.
around following this character who he has like the Midas touch, but with dead things. So he can
Okay.
touch a dead thing, it'll come back to life and he times it early on in his life, how long it takes before it causes death for it to stay alive. So if he touches something, it comes back to life. I think it's like 7 seconds or something, some small amount of time he has before it takes a universal toll and something else dies. So he has to wear gloves all the time and
Hmm.
like not kiss people and stuff. Which is a fascinating thing for his character to do, especially when he falls in love with a character. But the show really didn't get the ending it deserved, and it didn't
Hmm.
like discover and flush out all the characters it needed. I think it only had 2 seasons, and it deserves so much more. It's so beautiful. It's kind of like if Wes Anderson made a TV show and who's the guy that did Nightmare Before Christmas?
Tim Burton.
And Tim Burton consulted. Because it's really quaint. The color palette's amazing. The characters are very sweet and genuine.
Hmm.
It's got a very like the dialogue reads very specifically to that show, but also there's weird death and quirky shit that you'd see out of like Edward Scissorhands.
Hmm.
Or maybe that's a better way of saying it. It's like if there was a spin-off of Edward Scissorhands directed by Wes Anderson. Maybe that's a better way to say it. But it's fucking awesome. I would highly recommend you checking it out. Sadly, no mas.
Um, Speaking of things that were quirky and had an awesome premise but no moss, Drifters. Um, Drifters is a show that came out of fucking nowhere for me, and my buddy told me about it. I'm like, "The fuck is this?" And it kind of plays with the whole idea of like the isekai genre, where it's like people are just warped to something, to some fantasy realm.
Hmm.
Except it's pulling people out of history, and it does kind of this spin act where people who are regarded as kind of villainous are set to be effectively good guys. Um, like oh, we actually talked about him not too long. Or we thought about talking to like Oda Nobunaga, who's like one of the first guys to unify Japan.
Hmm.
Um, like he is basically pulled from history instead of like dying in a temple, like where it's on fire. Um, and he ends up being kind of a commander. It's got like Bonnie and Clyde are pulled, and so
Okay.
it just pulls weird people out of history to help with like effectively fight this weird monster invasion. And on the other side, you have people like Joan of Arc and other good people who were martyred or whatnot, who were like angry or like, here, come be a villain. You got fucked over. It's just this bizarre clash. And I like the kind of ultimate boss, what would have been for the bad people, like was Jesus basically angry for being crucified. It
Okay.
doesn't say it, but I'm like 99% sure. I'm like, that's just Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Um, so it's just like that's such a bizarre spin. Like, who just thinks of Jesus Christ as the baddie? And then a lot of people. I mean, the person, not the institution behind it. So it's just like it was, and it got like one season. I thought for what it was, I thought it was pretty good. So I was just kind of sad it never got renewed. Like I would have liked to see more and see what fucking wackadoodle historical figures they yoinked and just
Yeah.
kind of put into an odd pot for discordant shenanigans.
So to go back in time, Deadwood is one of the coolest, arguably most original takes I think I've seen on a Western,
Mm-hmm.
and had 2 seasons and a movie that came out years later, which is weird.
Sure.
But so much was like resolved in this like sledgehammer of an ending where they just kind of threw stuff in pots and like got it done. But there was so much more that could have been told. The strife between the big and small business, like it was basically small Western town versus big business magnate, became part of like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, or was that season 3? Hold on, my brain is, I'm old. Okay, so it had 3 seasons, so we needed a fourth.
Okay.
And it's so weird. So it premiered in 2004, and then ended in 2006, and then a film continuation was released in 2019.
Whoa.
13 years later.
So it's a bit of a gap.
Bit of a gap. Still good, loved it, but also like, man, the way the show was written, it didn't really let, each episode was almost like a mini movie, as it was HBO, so you could do hour long, no ad breaks. And man, it just needed more. I could hear Al Swearingen go, Heindai, with a to a Chinaman who didn't speak a lick of English other than cocksucker for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
And
it's a
I know it
cocksucker.
sounds
Like,
like
so
I'm being
what?
racist, but that was that show full center square. So amazing. That's right, woo. Cocksucker.
All right. My last anime entry on this that has a lot more source material that I'm sad didn't get to be continued is Dead Man Wonderland. What a fucking fever dream of a show. Um, it You get weird superpowered blood people in prison.
It's
Shit
not the
goes
love.
haywire. Um, and it the place the anime stops has no semblance of resolution. Like it's not even close. Just like this isn't even like a polite stopping spot. Like the only thing that happened is we survived a gauntlet, but it's like, hey, your best friend is the person who blew up your class. Um, or like the person you're surviving with in prison detonated your classroom. You
Mhm.
apparently knew her as a kid and forgot. There is someone who can power vampire in here. You're still in jail. Um, like nothing is resolved. Like so, I'm fucking more, more. But it turned to Aaron for a minute.
More.
Thank you.
Oh.
Um, and the show looked really good too. Like the studio that made it,
Mm-hmm.
it looked really good. Like so, I'm
No,
also just angry that I don't get more dope show to watch.
yeah.
Um,
It was very beautiful.
in a very gory way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
gore can be beautiful.
true. Um, yeah. So I'm very sad that there's that is one of the few that I'm like I may go fucking read it because I'm annoyed.
Well, speaking of being annoyed, Mindhunter is one of my favorite Netflix series ever.
Mm,
Only had 2 seasons. It was both seasons, the first two and last two episodes were done by David Fincher. The rest he, found other people that he trusted, but it very much had his vibe about it. So if you're a
yep.
Fincher fanatic such as
Mm,
myself, definitely check it out if you already haven't. But sadly, the show only got 2 seasons and is unlikely to ever get any more.
mm,
And a lot of that is understandably, once you hear the gripes, to do with Fincher and his just like one, he wants to do other things, and also the process has been apparently more of a pain in the ass than it has been fun. He's just like, I don't want to do that. Totally understandable. But really sad because the first season is one of my favorite seasons of television, and it felt like season two was setting up really well for future seasons. And there was a lot of fun teasing that was going on, and it never got resolved. And it's such a bummer because the cast is so cracked, the acting is so good, the photography is so beautiful. It really is just one of the most beautiful, fantastic thrillers you've ever seen, where it's not horror, it just has you on the edge of its seat even when you're like reviewing police files.
Hmm.
And there's very little interaction with criminals. It's just so masterfully shot and directed that you
Hmm.
have this insane sense of unease.
Hmm.
It's your turn, grandson.
I miss I want more goofy, campy schlock that was Inside Job.
Amen.
Like I season two is not as good as season one. I still fucking liked it. Like I would watch another two seasons of it happily. It's goofy, it's campy, it's irreverent as fuck. I love all of these things. Like I don't know. Think about reusing the joke "Wake up, sheeple" to both the regular people and genetically engineered half sheep, half human. Outstanding. Um, like shit like that. Just ah, happy. It's I am a simple man, um, and I'm very like again, especially since like season one has some semblance of a plot to it. Instead of season two, like they have like a little bit of through line to it, and kind of a very sad emotional moment actually. Because I feel bad that they wiped that dude's brain, which is sad.
Yeah,
That was hard. It's like, God, Riley, just be happy, just leave.
yeah,
Um, um, so, but then like they actually they have a teaser for what season three would be, and that the robes are terrible. Surprise to
wait, they
no
did
one.
a teaser for season three and then
No, no,
didn't.
no, 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 not like.
Oh,
But the end of season two, there's like,
sure, sure, sure.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. There's like a cliffhanger kind of deal.
yeah,
Um, and I'm just sad to never see that play out.
yeah,
Like it's one of those like I this is not done. This is not ended. I am annoyed because it's something I liked. Like and I think it still had like I can see why some people didn't want it to keep going because again season two was not as good as season one, but I think it could have been pulled back pretty easily, like
yeah,
realistically. Um, if it tried to do less fucking meta commentary, I think it'd be better for it. Um, but yeah, I want more of it. I will never get it. I will also make a note. I had one more entry. I had to remove that. It is getting another season next year.
yay.
Yeah, I thought Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid was not going to get any more. Nope, it gets another season.
Well, I mean,
People
yeah.
love cute shit. All right,
I was gonna say
Gesundheit.
people love big, cute anime titties, but yeah, cute shit.
I mean, people do also like the thing you said too.
The thing I said.
People,
Who's to say what he talked about?
people do love some hullabahungaloos. Yep.
Fan service front and center, please. Thank you very much. Well, sadly, something we won't get any more of. We got some more of, and understandably won't ever again. And I think it's probably a good thing in a weird roundabout way. Is Firefly.
Yeah.
Firefly is like one of the first Genius productions made by Joss Whedon, who then the show got canceled through Fox and old timey, show times being moved around 3 times, and it's like
12
12-episode
episode
run or
run.
whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was like 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah, it's a barely a full season. The episodes were constantly talking to people that watched it when it was on air. It got shown out of order. It moved its time slot around, and it was just like not given the right to survive. However, it was so damn good because Joss is quite an amazing writer that it ended up, you know, getting some second life on DVD, and then the fans freaked out enough that we made the movie Serenity. Fantastic movie. It's actually incidentally what got me into Firefly. I saw Serenity first, then went back and watched Firefly because it's so good, and it holds up. The show is fantastic. It needed and had plenty more source material. Comic books have been made since. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The reason I'm okay with it not getting made is apparently Joss, like a lot of other people I'm finding out in Hollywood, fucking suck at humaning and arguably don't get should not get rewarded with having these great things when they don't know how to people. Lied, gaslit, and then cheated on his wife, and apparently was rough on set, especially apparently to some of the like younger female characters is the ruminations. So
That makes me feel weird about Dollhouse.
yeah, not the best.
Yeah,
Product was great. It doesn't it doesn't make it okay for what happened.
sure.
So just kind of like Dirk Gently, love the output. Input makes me feel kind of like, I mean, maybe it's not the worst thing that it's not making anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yo.
don't be douchebags, douchebag.
Yeah. Don't be stupid, stupid. Don't sue me, Philly.
And with that lovely note, we're going to go on a little ad break and come back with some more lovely things that you should listen to and watch. See you in a moment. Having trouble staying awake?
Oh, yeah.
Wish you'd followed your dream so you had the give a crap necessary to meet your deadlines?
Oh, definitely.
Are you likely to be fired the second another warm body walks through that door and asks your boss for an application?
Probably.
Would you prefer to keep this shit sack of a job instead of explaining to Susan that you've been fired?
I mean, I guess.
Well, then let me introduce you to caffeine. Caffeine is a highly addictive substance that'll keep you jittery and energized to do any fucking stupid task for hours.
Uh, that sounds like drugs.
It is!
Aren't drugs illegal?
Not this one. So next time you feel like sitting on the sidewalk instead of at your desk, reach for a caffeine.
Wait, you didn't tell me where I can buy it.
'Cause it's mother loving everywhere, you blind Neanderthal.
Welcome back.
Ah!
I don't know why I expect anything different. Do you have a recommendation for the lovely viewers and listeners?
Yes. Treat people like people. Oh, sorry. You're talking about TV shows or stuff. So, Nardwar the Human Serviette is possibly one of the most bananas fucking interviewers you will ever see. He doesn't
Okay.
really ask questions as much as he makes statements. The guy is arguably clinically insane, but also gets the best and the coolest bits of information in the most adorable, I'm a huge fan sort of way.
Hmm.
So while it's not TV or movie, I would highly recommend looking up Nardwar. The link will be included below. He is the most individual. There is no one else like him. I love plenty of other interviewers. Sean Evans is amazing. There's this one that I've been watching as well. Can't remember his name, but the show is like basically last meal. People talking
Hmm.
about what they would want to eat, and then gets into other bits of their life. But
Hmm.
that's fantastic too. But Nardwar is just no one does it like him. There's the gimmick is the interviewer, not the format, or maybe the
Hmm.
format is the gimmick via the interviewer just being insane. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Amazing if you want to see artists get interviewed and have their minds fucking. There are hour-long compilations of people going, "What the fuck? Are you with the feds?" Like just like being like blown away. People literally like running out of his interviews because they're like so freaked out.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
I think that is one thing I appreciate about like Hot Ones and Sean Evans is that they will do some really deep cuts into people's life. It catches them off guard.
Yeah.
I think my favorite response to that recently was uh no. Why did I just Peter Dinklage going, oh, hi, stalker.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's awesome. I love Sean Evans, but
it's
I
it's
mean,
not
also
it's not the same insanity.
it's not the same insanity. I mean, watch Hot Ones. I think it's one of the best. I think it's got a gimmick, but I think it uses it to a great
Yeah,
extension. Just I was watching Nardwar this week, and it's just like, damn, they really they
I,
don't make them like that ever. Like they
no.
made them like that once, and they're like, nope, we don't need two of those.
There could be only
Never need a
one.
second one. One was enough for all time.
Damn, I gotta check it out. All right. Well, I've had a lot of time this week, so I've been reading the book Pariah, um, which I picked up at the bookstore because I'm like I need to buy books to read just because I need to read stuff, and I saw it and like this cover is interesting, and I picked it up and like read the fucking back. I'm like, all right, sounds like me. Bought it. Knew nothing about it. Like hadn't had no one recommended it. No nothing. I'm like, I'm fucking give it a shot. It's I I was a little skeptical at the start. It's like, I don't know. This seems like it's written a little pretentious. It's fucking, and then it does what a lot of people won't do, and it just started fucking killing characters. And I'm like, whoa.
Die, die, die.
Yeah, it spent like 100 pages just getting you attached to people and this like band of misfits and outlaws, and then they just get fucking wrecked. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's what we're about.
Yeah, like, Jesus fucking Christ. Um, so I've been pretty enraptured with it. I think most of the way through it at this point, and it goes to some interesting places. Like, so I if you want something that is pretty dark and fairly violent, Pariah, pretty dope.
So my recommendation music wise this week is Saint Motel's Dear Dictator. Uh it just has that it's just a good rock romp.
Mm,
It's got good vocals, good guitar, nothing special. This is not like a one of a kind thing. It's
sure.
just good. It's just a banger. Just finding myself listening to it multiple times this week. Just got a great guitar riff, got a great singer, hits good range. Just fun. If you want a light, it's not light, but if you want like a good like groove banger, that's not like it's not taking you to deeper places, just kind of like surface level. Dear Dictator by Saint Motel. Fucking just does it.
Dope. I have a recommendation because my playlist shuffle fed me something I haven't heard in a while. I'm like, oh my god, I had to forget about this song. That is Pegasus by Muzzy, Muzzy. Uh, damn, that song slaps. I completely forgot about it, and I played it about 9 times in a row, which is saying something because it is a 6 minute song. It's it's a good like drum and bass track that doesn't get too heavy and in the weeds. It's weirdly light, and the singer is outstanding for it. I cannot sing like her for several reasons. Um, Notably, I am not a woman. Um,
Okay. Tell me more.
I she has like the very light, airy voice affect. I'm like, nope, that ain't happening over here. Like they could do fun, like nice, like vocal melody, and I'm like, that does not sound the same coming from me. Okay, I'll try in the car though. God bless.
Yeah, of course.
God is my witness. We try. We fail spectacularly, but we try. What is our quip off for the day?
Our quip off of the day, as I was recently reminded via watching an awesome video that actually I will try to include now that I say it before I forget, is of Princess Bride. So found out through this awesome video from a really good video essayist regarding film
Mhm.
called In Cinematic. doesn't have that many subscribers, so please, after you've subscribed to us, go over there and subscribe to him. But about how one scene, the most expensive scene for those of you that have seen Princess Bride, oddly enough, is the Miracle Max scene. And it's not because of any special effect or Billy Crystal asking for a lot of money. It's because, according to this video, again, 5 minutes worth to watch. They had to do like 100 retakes because Billy Crystal was killing everybody. He was told to ad lib by the director Rob Reiner, who's apparently one of the goats in regards to directing actors because he is an actor himself and gets it.
Sure.
And so he's like, told Billy, yeah, just go for it. Just do your thing. Billy's like, okay. And multiple people had to be escorted off set because they were ruining the take by laughing, including people behind the camera. Rob Reiner was the first one to go because he ruined 20 takes. Then Carrie Ools couldn't keep it together and so on and so forth. The only person that stayed on, other than a couple of DP guys and sound guy, was Mandy Patinkin, who played Space Cadet Inigo Montoya, and he sustained an injury to his ribcage from holding in laughter. It was the only injury he sustained in the whole filming, was trying to not laugh at fucking Billy Crystal just fucking ad-libbing.
That is incredible.
So yeah, it's dope. Respect it all the way around. So let me pull up my handy dandy phone. Let's put 2 minutes on the timer. You ready?
All right, I'm looking up nothing. Let's see what I can do from memory.
Go.
Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Anybody want a peanut?
Now stop it, I mean it!
There's something you should know. I am not left-handed either.
I do not mean to pry, but you don't by any chance happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand.
No good. I've known too many Spaniards.
True love.
Your friend is mostly dead.
Does anybody have the wing?
Said to blaze, which means to bluff. He probably owes you money, right?
Liar! Liar!
Get back, you witch.
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. But after what you said, I don't want to be that anymore.
Kidnapped by pirates is good.
Tyrone, you know how much I love watching you work, but I've got a country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and Gilda to frame for it. I'm swamped.
There's a shortage of perfectly good breasts in this world. It'd be a shame to damage yours.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that!
Have fun storming the castle!
It'll take a miracle.
Beat it, I'll call the Brute Squad.
I'm on the Brute Squad.
You are the Brute Squad.
He's only got himself. I'm carrying 3 people. Which, also, that is such a crazy feat of strength, thinking about it. Like, he's probably carrying 400 pounds of people.
Plus himself.
Yeah. Up a cliff.
Probably half a ton on a rope with no, yeah.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ. Like, just, and carrying a conversation. Like, just add insult to injury. The other line I didn't get to use. I will kill you now.
Be more sportsmanlike.
It's just a rock. It's just
Andre the Giant's voice in that movie is insane. It's so baritone and soft all at the same time.
Why would that make any difference?
Well,
You see it. I end up anytime I try to mimic him, I sound like fucking what's his name from The Simpsons? Is it Barney?
Oh
Hey
yeah,
guys! Like
yeah, yeah.
I end up like listening into Barney. I can't ever quite get him right. Maybe it's because I don't weigh 3 times what I weigh now.
Yeah, it's you're not a giant,
A literal
literally.
giant. Yeah. Well, with that revelation, that's our episode. So thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please feel free to
Like,
comment
share.
or subscribe.
Oh lord. But don't forget, new episodes of Super Prose Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye. This character's coming back.
God forbid.